So when you looked at this in your presentation, you mentioned that maybe if you compare the like ratio, like the like to dislike ratio versus the views, you mentioned that maybe relatively views are better off, like have more predictive value than likes to dislike ratio, right? Do you know what the reason could be for that? Meaning, like, what could be stopping the attackers from not improving that? Like, why the difference could be there?
A lot of them, what we noticed is a lot that I think where the problem with like to dislike ratio is a lot of times they'll simply just be disabled, and you can't disable view counting. So there was clear evidence of like a lot of the engagement in these scam videos being sort of paid for. So a lot of the comments would be like spam or things that were completely irrelevant, with a few like real people scattered in. We didn't sort of study that in any systematic way, so I can't really talk about it. I can't generalize, but likely the problem with like to dislike ratio is just that it's either disabled for scam videos, or they artificially pump it up by purchasing likes.
Okay, sounds good. Follow-up question as we wait for more questions would be, are you planning on like releasing the data set or working more with the data set? Because this is very valuable, right? You've manually looked through so many videos and you've labeled them. And so I would assume this would be of great interest to researchers. So I was just wondering about that.
Yeah, I'd be happy to share the video set with any other researchers or with Google directly themselves. I think
Right.
someone asked a question in the chat.
I guess, yeah. Sebastian, do you want to ask the question?
Hello, yes. You mentioned a bit on the way that you classified the scams, but can you please elaborate a bit more on how did you scrape and the mechanical part of the scraping, please?
Yeah, so we actually didn't implement any sort of scraping or anything like that. It was using YouTube's API, which has the ability to just basically do search queries, and then using the sort of bit of kit we use that wasn't, sort of intended, is using the PyTube YouTube downloader to download the videos and caption files themselves. But the sort of finding the videos, that was essentially using YouTube's own search. As I mentioned, that means that the sample is kind of biased. So it's not like but this would be a problem in whatever way you choose to get these videos, where, YouTube is a stateful website. Like there's no way to just search it as like without using your past viewing. And so
yeah, an anonymous search would not yield the same results because it would be tainted. Yeah. Thank you.
And even anonymous, even so, if we use sort of like a headless browser or something like that, it would use your past searches to influence that. So I think you could work to do the searches anonymous, but we did not.
Okay, thank you. The API sounds like a very feasible and very valid approach to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions?
I have a quick statement. So yeah, it's a very, very cool paper. Congrats. And thank you for the talk. So one thought that I have, like, it's basically, it would be very cool to repeat the same experiment with different language, right? With YouTube videos in Russian, Ukrainian. For me, I expect that scam will be different based on country. So just like one comment.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's another thing, is that this is very geographic based. So you're going to see very different. Even though we were looking at English YouTube, at times there would be videos in like Punjabi that I could not understand, and so there was certainly content we encountered that, despite the fact of using English search terms and despite the fact of using American, US, intending it to be US API results, we still had sort of foreign or non-English language, videos in the data set.
And like we could also like follow-up question regarding like this possible follow-ups, right? But maybe you already looked at this. Basically, did you try to contact YouTube or like to get some information about who is uploading those videos, right? Just to investigate more? Is it like some campaigns and so on?
So we haven't talked to YouTube yet. We haven't talked to Google yet. That's something I'd definitely be interested in doing. Part of the problem is it's hard to systematically report these videos because we have 600 scam videos, and to go through and report them, you have to go through like a 30-second dialogue each time. And there's, for good reason, no automated way to report videos. So it's challenging to do without like some sort of internal contact or working with somebody directly.
We might have some Google people and YouTube people in audience. So yeah, if you can help, I would advise. Yeah.
I have an advice that I've used for reporting Google. I mean, to Google, it wasn't as such a vulnerability, but it was related to abuse, and they were very responsive. So you might consider, reporting. So Google considers abuse-related vulnerabilities as well. This is not an abuse as such, but you could put all the YouTube URLs in one file and then share it with them. And then I guess that would go higher up than just reporting individual URLs.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you for the questions.
Yeah. Great work. Thank you.
Yes, cool research. Thank you.
And we have another audience saying, yeah, great talk. Yeah.
Okay.